Hello ladies, and welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well. So it has been a minute, and as most of you know, we were in the south of France for 12 days. And since getting back, I have been trying to adjust to the time, and then we had a time change with falling back or something like that, whatever the time change was. So we got hit with a double whammy trying to get used to the time change from France to here in the US, and then we had to either, I think, set the clocks back or something like that. But anyway, I hope we got that part right. My apologies for not coming out with a video before now, but not only have I been adjusting to getting my sleep back on track, but I have been super busy, all good, since we have returned from France. So as you can tell from the title of this video, what I'm going to be talking about is my experience in France in terms of how I was treated. And what I wanted to do is break this video up in terms of the north of France versus the south of France. And the two places I'm going to be dealing with mostly is going to be Paris, which is in the north of France, and then we went into Avignon, we went into Aix-en-Provence, to Arles, and a few other places, but we're just going to lump those all into the south of France. So if you are interested in learning more about how I was treated in France and what my experience was, then please watch the video to the very end. Now, without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Okay, ladies, so welcome back. So before we get into today's video, I wanted to talk about my outfit of the day, and I will be putting a clip on the side of the screen here in just a minute, but I wanted to give you a closer look at my scarf. Now, this scarf I bought at Paris airport from the Christian Dior store, and I just absolutely love it. When I tell you that they give you a really good experience at the Dior store in the airport, it was amazing. The CA at the Christian Dior store in Paris airport bought me out a cup of tea and also some hand wipes and things like that. And it was just a beautiful presentation while I was looking at scarves. And this particular scarf I wanted to show you, ladies, is 100% silk, and it has the Dior name going around the neck. Now, normally this would not be something that I would go for, but I think this just looks really elegant around the neckline. So I love scarves that are very fitted to my neck. You can also wear it on either side, but for today, I just chose to wear it on this particular side with the Dior showing right here at the neck. But you can flip it and wear it a different way. In fact, let me just show you, ladies, the other way that you can wear this scarf. So if you don't want the Dior showing, you can wear it like so, and just wear it on this side like this. So it would kind of be your preference how you want it to wear the scarf, but you don't have to show the Dior name on the scarf if you choose not to. You can wear it like this. This is the other side of the scarf, and I just think it looks really beautiful. So this was purchased in the airport in Paris, and it came in this beautiful box right here with Dior on the top of it, and this is where I keep it just for protection of the silk. So this was the first thing I wanted to share with you, ladies. Now, the next thing I'm wearing is this alpaca wool sweater that I got from a little French boutique in the south of France. And this sweater is so soft. It is just amazing. It feels really good to the skin. And it is a V-neck sweater, and you can actually layer underneath it, but I just really love the softness of this sweater. Now, I've paired it up with these cream colored pants that I got a couple of years ago from And Other Stories, and they are sort of a wide leg, relaxed fit pant, a little bit too big for me, but however, I think the way that I've tucked the sweater into the front of the pants, it makes it look just more like a relaxed fit trouser. So with this outfit, I've paired it up with my Chanel-esque slingback heels. And I just really love how this look comes together. I think it is elegant, it looks very polished, and it is something that can be very casual, but also very dressed up at the same time. So that is my outfit for the day. Okay, ladies, so welcome back. I want to talk about my experience in France, especially as an African American. So we flew from Atlanta into Paris. Now, we did not spend any days in Paris when we first got there. We went straight to our next flight, which was to go from Paris into Marseille. And then we had a driver waiting on us once we arrived in Marseille to take us into Avignon. And that was about an hour and 10-minute drive from Marseille. So once we arrived, we were met and greeted by our Airbnb host, who could not speak any English whatsoever. And she was really polite. She would smile a lot. She would laugh a lot. But she did not know any English, which was a little bit of a challenge for us because of the fact that we could not really get assistance from her while we were in the south of France. And one of the things I wanted to share with you, if you are ever considering traveling to the south of France, is to learn as much French as you can, because the further south you go, the less English speaking people you are going to find. Now, we did not know any French other than, the basics, like learning how to say hello, thank you, and please, and things like that. But we did not know the language. And so it was a little bit of a difficulty in terms of communicating with our Airbnb host. Now, the place where we stayed was absolutely beautiful. It was in I believe, 15th century castle. And the Airbnb host had renovated this Airbnb. It was just beautiful. It was all in French decor. And if you have not seen that video where I did my apartment tour, I will link it in the description box down below this video. So if you're new here, please be sure to watch that video, because I do give you a tour of our apartment in Avignon, Provence. Now, I want to get to talking about my experience when we went to the grocery stores, or the markets as they call it in France. And I felt treated really well. I felt like the people there were really polite, even though 98.9% of them did not know English. And there were very few that could speak very broken English. But nevertheless, we were still able to communicate in ways that we could get what we wanted from the market. But the people seemed to be really helpful. They seemed to be very polite. They were trying to speak a little bit of English and understand what my husband and I needed when we were at the market. So it was a very, very pleasant experience when we were going to buy groceries, when we were going to restaurants and things like that. So that part of it was extremely well, especially when we went to a restaurant called Pollen. Now, Pollen was the restaurant that we went to celebrate our anniversary. And whilst it was a French restaurant, there were some of the younger people there that could speak some English. So that was a good experience there. And I found the south of France to be very diverse in terms of nationality and different races that had moved there. So there was a collective group of people that had moved from all over the world. And so the south of France was very, very diverse. And I just found it to be really, really pleasant. Now, in terms of when we went to things like the opera, we went to the museums and things like that, I also found the people to be really, really polite and just very understanding of us not knowing any French whatsoever. So it was just a really good experience in the south of France. Now, when we went to Arles, when we went to Aix-en-Provence, we did find that a lot of attendants at the train station also did not speak any English. Now, we were very lucky that there was one lady there that could speak a little bit of English and could guide us on what tickets to buy to go to Arles or to Aix-en-Provence, and especially getting back to Paris, where we were going to be catching our flight. So we did have a person that was able to speak a little bit of broken English. And with my broken French, I was able to kind of put together what we needed to do to get our tickets, to get around and get back to Paris and everything. So that part of it was really good. And I would say that if you are going to visit anywhere in France, I would go to the south of France simply because it was just a pleasant experience. It was absolutely beautiful, first and foremost. It is a beautiful place to see in Provence. Provence, to me, is the place to vacation. If you want to get away from the hustle and bustle, if you want to tour some quaint little French villages, eat some good food, kind of slow your pace down, then Provence is the place to go, because I think that Paris was more of just a big city vibe, almost kind of like New York in terms of how many people travel there and how many tourists are there and things like that. But what we experienced in the south of France was totally different. It was more local people and again, very diverse in nationality in the south of France. Now, moving forward to after being in the south of France for 12 days, we then had to take the train and go to Paris to catch our flight to Atlanta a couple of days later. So getting on the train and trying to navigate that was very difficult. We even had some of the train attendants to lead us in the wrong direction when we were trying to get to Paris. And we were able to communicate with a couple of people that were riding the train who let us know that we were on the correct train to get to Paris. So one of the things we noticed after our arrival in Paris was that the hotel attendants were really not that friendly. And now Paris, again, you would expect that there would be a lot more English speaking people, since it is a very highly, touristic city. But we found less people that would try to help us in Paris than we did in the south of France. And we didn't find the hotel staff to be very polite or anything like that. So I just did not like the vibe that was in Paris. And also at some of the restaurants, even though we did find one restaurant that we really loved, the food was excellent, but it was kind of the mentality in Paris that I think that was a little bit more like aggressive than it would have been in the south of France. In fact, we did not face any of the kind of attitudes. Now, let me position this here for a second. If you are from France, thank you for being on my channel. And this is not about you personally. It's about my experience while we were in France. And so Paris would not be my favorite place to spend any length of time. And we spent a couple of days there, and to me, that was plenty. And the experience at the airport, even in Paris, when we arrived from our flight from Atlanta, was really not a good experience. And even though we had our tickets on our phone, we had e-tickets that we had downloaded onto our cell phones, we get to where we are about to go through the checkpoint, and the attendant that was looking at the luggage would not accept our electronic boarding passes and was trying to send us all the way back downstairs to print boarding passes. But luckily we got through that, because I ended up just stopping another agent and saying, we need to catch our flight. You know, we've got the boarding passes right here. Please let us through. So the guy that had turned us down in the beginning was pretty much rude. And I was trying to show him that, look, I've got the boarding passes right here on my phone. And he was just telling me, no, 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 you know, go, go. And so it was just not a good experience at the airport in Paris. And then on the return, after spending 2 days in Paris, and I was really ready to leave Paris, but not the south of France. We actually really loved it. But we get to the airport and it was just not a good experience again. And we just felt like, although a very, very high touristic city, was not the polite place that we would like to spend any length of time on our vacation. We had a totally different experience in the south of France from the north. And you would normally think that that would be reversed. Normally it's the south if you would be here in America from the north. So the only thing we really ended up doing in Paris was walking to the Eiffel Tower and walking in the gardens around the tower, and just seeing how beautiful it was to see how big the Eiffel Tower was. Now, we had plans to go to the Louvre, as I mentioned in some of my previous videos, but we decided to cancel the visit to the Louvre because we just, number one, did not want to stand in all the lines, and it was just something that we chose not to do. So we ended up spending the couple of days in Paris just kind of walking around, getting off on some of the side streets, looking in some shops and going to some restaurants and things like that. But to wrap this video up, I would say that as an African American woman, I was treated really well in the south of France. And I would say that Paris wasn't a bad experience. It was just they were not polite and not helpful. Now, again, I know that this was just my experience and people have different experience when they go there, but we just didn't feel like that the northern area of France was as polite as where we were in the south. So that is all I wanted to share in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Now, Thanksgiving holiday, of course, is coming up, and I will be spending time with my family, and I'm hoping that you guys are too. And so I probably will not be posting a video until after the Thanksgiving holiday. And also I will be styling up all of my outfits that I bought in France for you ladies in the next video. So please be sure to stay tuned for that. And as usual, if you enjoyed watching this video, then please give this video a like. And also, if you are just landing on my channel for the very first time, my name is Teresa, and this channel is all about leveling up and becoming more elegant and more graceful. And if you are interested in that, and also style videos and lifestyle videos, a little bit of travel videos as well, then go ahead and click that subscribe button. And remember, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified every time one of my videos go live. Thanks for watching, ladies, and I will see you in my next video.